I'm Austin Lugo.
I'm Andrew Harp.
This is With Nothing to Say.
Let's talk about Strangers on a Train.
Before we get started next week, we are going to be watching a John Woo film. This was your choice, Andrew. You chose Hard Boiled. Why'd you choose this film?
Well, you and I talk every episode about what we're going to watch. You mentioned that we haven't seen a foreign film in a while, meaning a film that wasn't, made in the United States in America. So, it's like, okay, yeah. And then we decided an action movie, and Hard Boiled's a perfect choice. So
I'm excited. I'm pumped. I'm ready for some John Woo in my life.
Yeah, he's rocks. He's great.
All right. But this week we're talking about Strangers on a Train. I got to pick the movie. Andrew, you requested a Hitchcock film. I know you haven't seen very many Hitchcock. You've seen kind of the major ones, right? Vertigo, Rear Window, Psycho, those kind of things. The Birds. Mostly his later work.
The Birds. I love The Birds. After watching Strangers on a Train, I think his top movies, I think those are good enough. Like if you're like a kind of person who's like, I just want to watch the top tier best movies of like each director.
Yeah, you're not a completionist.
The ones that the ones that I've seen at this point, are the top tier movies. And Strangers on a Train for me is like I wouldn't say like a part of the Hitchcock completionist adventure. Like it's not a movie that you would watch just to complete Hitchcock, but it's like a movie that kind of like is really good, but it's like a little bit below all of his like what is considered his top tier stuff, in my opinion. But even like Hitchcock, even operating at that level, is still like incredible, still, especially on the directing end.
Absolutely. Hitchcock, I've seen a lot of his stuff. I think most of the stuff I haven't seen at this point, just because Hitchcock has 61 films. So if you're too completionist, it's going to take you quite a while to watch them all. Most of the stuff I haven't seen is his early stuff in Britain. I've seen a couple of them. The Criterion Collection did like a collection not too long ago of his early comedic work, which I've seen like one or two of those. And there's some fun ones in there. I don't think his comedic work translates very well in America. It's very British and early, right, 30s, 40s British comedy. So there's definitely a different style to it. And I think Hitchcock really finds his groove whenever there is murder involved. I mean, all of his best films have something to do with murder. I can't think of a great Hitchcock film or even a really good Hitchcock film that isn't murder related. And I guess that's just
are there murders in The Birds?
I mean, people are being murdered by birds. I don't know if anyone like dies.
I know it's like the movie's like that. I guess it's like kind of a murder mystery, but it's his most like fantastical one, I guess. But I don't think anyone like people kill other people. But yeah, I guess there is death in it.
Yeah, death is always involved, and people are always kind of getting into Strangers on a Train a bit. People are always very interested in murder in his movies. Like it's just something that it's like a common thing. Like people just sit around talking about how they're going to murder people, which reminds me of a movie I've seen recently, but I can't put my finger on what movie it was. I feel like there was a movie I watched recently where like there's kind of a similar thing where they talked about like the best way to murder someone. It was something we watched. I know what it was. It was the Orson Welles movie,
Touch of Evil.
Touch of Evil. Yeah, because Orson Welles goes on this whole thing on how the best way to murder someone is strangling.
They have a couple conversations like that in this movie, at least a couple. Yeah, and you're right. Like Hitchcock's like most famous movies are his like psychological thriller, horror adjacent murder mystery films. Strangers on a Train is pretty there's no mystery, but like this is less of a mystery, more of like a thriller in that like you're kind of like going back and forth between these two different people. One of them is crazy, one of them isn't.
He's very crazy.
And that's kind of like the dynamic of the movie. It's not really like a cat and mouse thing or like a detective or someone being accused. Well, it is kind of someone like being accused of something he didn't do, kind of. Um, but it's like we're kind of on the level of everything going on. The thrill and anticipation of seeing like, oh, is he gonna get out of it? Like, is he gonna, not go to jail for something he didn't do? It's still an effective movie, even though there's not really like a mystery. It's a lot of fun to watch.
It is. I always forget how funny Alfred Hitchcock's movies can be, and
They're so fucking funny.
yeah, they. I always forget. I don't know why. I mean, I've seen so many Hitchcock films, and that's his original genre, right? That's when he first got into filmmaking. A lot of his early stuff were comedies, so it's something he's very comfortable with. But when you think about, his kind of like thriller, murder, mystery films, you often forget just how funny they are. And Strangers on a Train is an absolutely hilarious film because our two protagonists, Guy and Bruno. I mean, Bruno is just an absolutely crazy person, and it's hilarious. Like he is just the craziest person to have ever existed. Just a man whose madness is irresistible in a certain way.
Yeah, I do love that character of Bruno too. He's like a great, nice film noir villain. That actor is really fucking good too. He died a couple months after the movie came out.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he died of like barbiturates and alcohol. Yeah, he's really fucking good in the movie. He's really funny, like you said. Yeah, Hitchcock's movies, they're funny. They're funny intentionally, but also unintentionally funny, just because like they're old ass movies. So like, even the ones like in the 50s and 60s, like just the way that people like, I don't know, you know, his innuendos in some of his movies, the way that people like talk about like sex or fucking or whatever to each other,
Oh, I love the innuendos.
it fucking kills me. For some reason, in Hitchcock movies, they're especially great. I don't know what it is, but I also find his movies to be very perverse, have like a subtle perverseness to it in a good way. There's some Strangers on a Train. There's something about it that felt a little like homoerotic to me.
Mm,
Between like Bruno and Guy,
mm-hmm.
there's like a homoeroticism going on, kind of like in Rope,
Yeah.
a little bit. Which the guy who plays Guy was in Rope.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting that vibe.
I agree. There's definitely something underneath here, at least on the side of Bruno, but there's definitely some sort of love language being passed between these two. And there's something about the sexual innuendos of the 40s and 50s that is just, it's so fun because of course, during this time, the Catholic Church had a big hold on the film industry for whatever reason. They had a lot of say because they didn't have like the modern rating system, right? They didn't have R, PG 13, PG. And so for a film to be released, like the Catholic Church basically had to give it their seal of approval. And so the sex jokes in this, and we'll get into a couple of specifics later, but they're so creative and inventive, but like everyone knows exactly what they're saying. But if you were like a kid and heard it, I could go right over your head, and it's brilliant. I love it. There's so
Yeah,
funny.
Stranger on a Train is good in that respect. I think like there are some other Hitchcock movies that like have better dialogue than this one in that regard, like Birds and like Rear Window and shit like that. Those movies feel even more sexually charged than this one. But yeah, it's still like once again, even though like Hitchcock in this movie is like operating at a level below those movies that I've just mentioned, it's still like it's still like fantastic. It's still really good. It's still like a great movie that anyone would be proud of to make. I will say it's called Strangers on a Train, but they're not really on a train very much, which is a little disappointing. They're really only at it at the beginning of the movie to kind of get into it. Like Bruno and Guy, they meet, and Bruno's like, "Yo, I know who you are. You're a famous tennis player," and he's like, "Yep, I am."
Knows everything about him.
They kind of hit it off. Not really, I guess. Like, not really. They just kind of they're bored on the train. Like they have nothing to do, so they just kind of like talk to each other. And Bruno's getting very chummy with him, bringing up like his relationship issues with like his wife and his like now girlfriend. And he's like, "Hey, don't get into that," and Bruno mentions that like I have some problems too. My dad, he's rich and he won't give me any of his money. Like I have to get a job. And Bruno concocts this amazing idea. It's a bad idea, actually.
It's not great. It's not great.
But he says like, look, you know what we should do? You want your wife dead. I want my dad dead. You should kill my dad and I'll kill your wife. And Guy's like, no, I don't want to do that.
It's not a great. I mean, like it's little things like because they don't have a motive, like they can't get caught, which I guess it's not the worst idea. They fuck it up immediately.
But they fuck it up like right away. He kills the wife, and then like everything is like fucked up.
Yeah, Bruno's really bad at it.
Like it completely like almost fucks guy's life up, even though he didn't commit any murder, you know. So like they don't even like
At all.
they don't even coordinate it very well. Yeah, Bruno, he like sucks. Like Bruno's great. Bruno's a great villain. Like he's like insane and stuff, but like he kind of reminds me of like Patrick Bateman or something like that. Like a character like that, an insane character, but not really like terribly smart or like cunning.
Not cutting at all. He's not very good at murdering. I mean, he's kind of I mean he's good at like the physical act, but otherwise, like
Right. They basically established the fact that he's just really good at strangling people, I guess.
that's his thing. That's his go-to. A classic noir move. People love to strangle.
Yeah, very, very noir, but it's like preposterous a little bit. But that's okay. It's the classic noir thing, like you said. But yeah, they get off the train. Yeah, guy is like, fuck you, whatever. They get off the train and he meets his wife, which once again, this is another Hitchcockism. The venomous woman, the evil woman, the promiscuous woman, it's obviously definitely a Hitchcockism, and like it's something that appears in like in all these movies, like film noirs and movies in the 40s and stuff like that. But Hitchcock loves it to the point where it feels a little like I feel like it's not. I feel like it's in these movies because it's like of his own issues, I guess, which makes it more interesting, I guess.
Yeah, you could say definitely in this movie and a lot of Hitchcock films. And of course, in film noir, there is the classic femme fatale, but I would say more so in Hitchcock movies, there's almost this caricature of the femme fatale. It's kind of taken to the nth degree. And here, certainly, I mean, the wife is this just awful human being, harlot, of course, and just
It's so funny. Yeah, harlot, a tramp, as they describe her later in the movie.
I mean, they just make her like the worst person to have ever existed. Like, there's no good qualities of this human being.
It's so funny. There's no such thing as people like this. But yeah, it's like that he meets his wife and he's like, okay, like let's get divorced. I'm very excited to get divorced. And she's like, I changed my mind. She's like pregnant, right? She's like pregnant
With someone else's kid.
with someone else's kid. And she's like, I'm gonna move to DC with you, and you're gonna raise like the kid that's not yours. Otherwise, I'm going to like tell the press or something about like this whole situation, because the girl that guy is dating is like her father is a senator. Because and guy also establishes that he has political aspirations, so he doesn't want to fuck any of that up.
Yeah. Again, no one in here is really like great with plans because like if she stays married to him and they go to DC, like that's gonna fuck up the thing with the girlfriend, which means it's gonna be harder for him to get into politics. Like it's just another terrible plan. Everyone's just got terrible plans in this movie. No one's coordinating, no one's working together, no one's taking the time to think about these things.
Yeah, there's really very little thought being put into anything going on. The only thought that is being put into this movie is weird. It's based on a Patricia Highsmith novel. I wonder what the novel's like. I'm sure there are a lot of changes, but I don't really care all that much.
If you've read it, someone tell us. Let us know.
Highsmith, she's the talented Mr. Ripley guy, right? I think she wrote the talented Mr. Ripley.
I've read that book.
I think she wrote that book.
Well, then I am familiar with her work. Talented Mr. Ripley's pretty good. I haven't seen the movie, but I've read the book.
She's like, I hate you. He's like, I hate you, you tramp, or whatever, harlot. And then like right after that,
He calls his girlfriend.
yeah, he tells his girlfriend, he's like, yo, like it's not gonna work out.
I want to strangle her.
I really want to kill her. And then we get to Bruno, and we get Bruno's situation too, where his mom is like funny. She's like kind of like unusual, I guess you could say. She's like, I love painting, and she shows a painting to Bruno, and it's like of his father.
What a horrifying, like abstract. It looks like did you ever see The Picture of Dorian Gray?
No, I don't care.
Well, it's a good movie. You should watch it. But it looks like that, which is like this weird, impressionist, surreal.
It's just like a warped, yeah, like a portrait. And like she's like, I try to write Saint Francis, draw Saint Francis, and it's like, but it's like his dad, like he sees his dad in it, which is great. And his dad arrives and he's like a fucking rich guy. And he's just, establishing Bruno's situation as like a spoiled brat who doesn't want to do anything, just wants money, is not afraid to, do anything drastic. And so Bruno now is like, okay, I'm going to go kill her. He's not consulted with Guy about it. And Guy specifically said he didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
But Bruno's like, okay, I'm going to do it. And you get a really great sequence.
Yeah. Yeah. He like, again, harasses Guy and he's like, hey, like, and this goes on through the whole film, but he's like, I'm gonna do it. And Guy's like, no, don't do it. Like, I really don't want you to do that. He's like, no, I'm gonna do it. This is definitely like, it's a great plan. We're gonna do it.
Well, he kills him but Bruno does kill her very early on in the movie, like the first 25 minutes.
Yeah, it's like the next thing it's the next like big thing that happens. It's like it's the very next scene.
Great carnival sequence.
I love a carnival in a noir film. They always just look insane.
That whole thing was really good. I just like how they kind of like from beginning, they like kind of go through the carnival, right? Like they enter and he's following her and she's got like two boyfriends with her and they're like going through the carnival.
What a harlot.
What a harlot. And they're like going through like the carnival and they go on all the different rides and they go on the carousel, as we will see later. And they go through like the tunnel of love and yeah, the whole thing is I like the whole sequence. It's just no music except the music of like the carnival, uses a lot of like shadows and things like that, and just the whole carnival sequence I think is just shot really well, and it's directed well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from the moment Bruno gets off the train, he does a little detective work, figures out where she is, follows her around, and they follow around the carnival. And of course, like she keeps looking back at him, and they have that nice sequence where they do the like classic hammer or sledgehammer on the bell thing to see like how strong people are, and you're like, oh, he's so strong, and that's fun.
He's so strong.
One of my favorite shots in this film is when they're in the tunnel of love. There's that incredible shadow sequence where you don't actually see them inside the tunnel, but you see like their shadows, and it reminds me, it kind of has this Francis Ford Coppola, what's that vampire movie that we watched?
Dracula. The most famous one. The Dracula, most famous one. The first vampire.
But it's kind of got those like,
right.
Cool shadowy vibes. And of course, like great sound design here. She's like screaming and yelling, and he's got like this giant shadow and he's like overshadowing her. But of course, like they move out and she's just not getting it on, but they're smooching outside the tunnel of love. But then they sneak off to like a island or like somewhere, I don't know, if just like the other side of the pond, lake, reservoir thing, whatever it is, in like a foresty area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're just like on a shoreline they're across like the water at the shoreline, and she like runs into Bruno. They're running around and Bruno's like, hey, what is your name, whatever? And she's like, yeah. Immediately begins strangling.
Immediately murders her.
You get that great shot, of course, very classic shot where her glasses fall off. She wears these glasses, and it's like a I think it's a double exposure shot. So it's like a shot of like the glasses and then like a warped shot of him strangling her on the glasses. So it's like you're looking in the reflection of the glasses as she's strangling her. Really very creative. He's able to easily get away.
He just walks away. Like there is no, because like the guys are not very far behind him, and they find her and they're just like, oh no, she's dead.
They don't notice like the boat going out of the shore.
Nope, they don't notice any of that shit. No one does. One person notices, which of course ends up being
one guy is able to like look at Bruno, which of course, yeah, we you don't have to be a fucking like screenwriter like genius to know like, oh yeah, that guy will be played. They'll play him in later in the movie, of course. And the lighter too. You mentioned the lighter. I thought the lighter was a little like egregious. It's like he drops it and he picks it up. It's like, I don't even know if we needed to see that early on. Whatever. I feel like it would be because they show it off in the beginning of the movie and then they bring it back at the end. That would have been good enough. They don't need him dropping in and picking it. Like, I don't. Yeah, Bruno kills him and gets away. And we get Guy, and Guy's like on a train again. And he's like talking to some guy who's drunk.
Professor, a math professor.
He's like in DC, lives in DC, goes to his apartment, and Bruno's like, psst. Bruno's like in the shadows. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing here? He's like, I did it. I did it.
I did the thing. We did it. We're agreed. Time to move forward with our plan.
And he's like, what? Yeah, you got to kill my dad. And he's like,
we never agreed to this. This is not the plan.
I never really agreed to this. And he's like, well, the plan is already in motion. Like, it's already happening. You got to do it. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then like shortly after this, of course, is the whole sequence where like Guy's like life becomes unraveled anyway, even though he didn't do anything.
He's the husband.
He's the husband. You're right. Like, it totally makes sense. Like, obviously there's a motive.
He has all the motive in the world to do it.
But they completely like fucked up like there's no coordination with like an alibi, you know? So
no, none.
So like the police show up and they want him, and he's like, what the fuck? And he has to like, he meets his girlfriend and his family, and she has like a little like annoying kid sister. And like the old senator man. And I forget what they talk about. I think they just talk about the fact, they announce to him, they tell Guy that she's dead. His wife died. She got murdered.
He has to do like this thing where he's like, oh no.
Oh no. Obviously, yeah, he didn't do anything, but he still is like happy that she's dead, which is kind of funny. He's just like, oh no. Damn. They're like, yes, I'm so sorry. And then after breaking the news, like the sister is just like, she was a tramp anyway. Like, she sucked. Like, good riddance. Like, oh my god. Oh yeah, they have like a little, very noir conversation. They kiss, this whole thing, and they're like, yeah, you got to talk to the police just to see where you were that night.
And of course the wife she's sus. She's like, this whole thing is sus, because he did tell her like a day ago that he really wanted to strangle his wife, and then his wife is strangled. So it's very suspicious.
Yeah, the wife's like an amazing detective. She like notices everything while everybody else is completely ignorant. He goes to like the cops to be interviewed, and he's like, yep, there was this guy on the train. He's there, and the guy is there. And he's like, yep, I was super drunk and I don't remember this guy at all. So he's like completely like, he's very much like in the realm of being guilty, because he doesn't really have like a proper alibi like at all.
And he acts suspicious. So suspicious.
He acts really weird because he's obviously like holding something back. Like, like he knows something that they don't. So that becomes a whole fucking issue. And it completely intrudes his life, which is hilarious. And like the whole time, of course, as you said, Bruno is like pestering him.
Bruno just keeps calling him. He's just like, hey. And he just keeps like sending him shit and just showing up at random places. I guess if you're like a rich guy, like I guess you can get into like those kind of things. Like you're rich enough that you can kind of like schmooze your way into parties and that shit.
Yeah, he like shows up to a tennis competition and he like makes up a name. He shows up at that party later where he is complete. He's total. Everyone's like, who the fuck is this guy? Who let him in? I think the senator literally calls him weird. He says Bruno is weird, which is a funny word to hear. Yeah.
But Guy's got he's got a little like detective that follows him, like just a man who follows him, who just follows him around all day and night. I guess there's two of them. One takes the day shift, one takes the night shift.
Yeah, he now has to get a detective.
And they just follow him wherever he goes.
It's completely intrusive of his life. I forgot like one of my favorite shots in the movie where he's at the tennis competition and he looks in the audience and, everybody's like looking back and forth, because it's a tennis competition. And Bruno's sitting right in the middle and has the audience and it zooms in on him and he's just staring. So it's like him in the middle of people looking back and forth, but he's not moving his head at all because he's looking directly at Guy. Mwah! Perfect. just fantastic.
Cinema at its best.
Yeah, he's just a good, nice, simple shot. And of course, Guy is, of course, like I said, like he's talking with like his friends and stuff, and he's just getting really fucking annoyed. And of course, the party scene is just completely like he nearly kills someone.
The party scene is absolutely insane because it's one of these posh senator rich people parties, and they're all a bunch of like rich people talking about rich people shit. And Bruno shows up, who had introduced himself at the tennis match as like, I don't know, some guy, doesn't really matter. And they're like, oh, this Bruno guy, he's pretty nice. And then he shows up at the party. So there's like, oh, he's kind of weird. And then of course Bruno goes, and being just the strangest man alive can only talk about murder, even with complete strangers. And so he like talks to these two posh rich ladies, and then proceeds to strangle one of them while staring at Barbara. Is that the name of the sister?
I forget. But yeah, like they have like this little conversation about like, how would you murder someone? They're like, oh, well, I would blow up the car. I would incinerate it, or my husband. Like, I would fucking, you would burn alive. Yeah, they're just like weirdly laughing. And he's like, oh no, you should strangle someone. Here, I'll show you. And yeah, he does that thing. I will say that like the thing with like her sister and how she kind of like looks like her, I understand that like that's there so that guy's girlfriend can kind of like make like connections to see, think like, oh, Bruno is like the strangler. That feels a little like, I don't know. There's something about that that feels like weird, but that aspect of where he's like he's like he feels like a hate or like a murderous rage against his sister because he looks like his ex-wife, like that to me is like very interesting, but they don't really do anything interesting outside of it just being like a clue for the wife to determine that Bruno killed. It's like, I don't know, I feel like that could have been like more interesting, like kind of like a weird kind of like depraved like psychological thing going on, but it wasn't really, they didn't really do anything with that.
Yeah, I would have liked to seen Bruno do a couple more murders. I think that would have been nice. Just a couple more.
Yeah, I agree with you. Or like just like, I don't know, just like some other like big thing that happens, you know what I mean? Because the movie is great, but like there is a lot of like back and forth of like Bruno and like Guy arguing with each other and like getting in each other's like, you know, like kind of like this misunderstanding sort of. But yeah, I wish, I don't know, I think I wish there was more like crazy shit in the movie, like the thing where he's like staring at her, like that's a great moment, but you don't really get anything like that else like that later in the movie.
Absolutely. But after this incident, Guy's like, okay, we gotta deal with this. Like, I can't just ignore him anymore. It's not working. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna sneak out of my apartment, like out of some like back gate or whatever, and I'm gonna go.
And he also confesses to his girlfriend about the whole thing.
That's right. He's like, hey, I didn't murder this lady, but I kind of did.
I didn't. If I did, no.
And she's just like, okay, I believe you. I mean, I guess, good for her. That's love at its finest. But
Yeah, these next couple scenes are just okay. It's like it's they're trying to connect with Bruno's parents to get Bruno to stop with this shit and go to jail. So it's like, yeah, like you said, Guy sneaks out and he goes to he has like the map to his house.
and a key.
Yeah, so he's able to like get inside of the house. There's like an attack dog there, but he's able to defeat it with nothing.
Kindness.
He doesn't with kindness. Like he's just like a kind guy, I guess. Also, it would have been nice to know about that. If Bruno really wanted like Guy to kill his father, he probably should have mentioned that he has a giant dog.
The dog would have been nice to know.
Why was that a surprise? Like anyway, he gets in and
Again, Bruno's very bad at his job.
yeah, Bruno's like we said, all of these people are really shitty. Like they're really bad at like doing anything. Like the whole movie. Except like Guy's really good at tennis. That's like the one thing like that of skill or precision is displayed is like Guy is really good at tennis or whatever. And so like he goes into his like Bruno's father's room and he's like, look, I'm really sorry to like fucking break into your house, but your son, he's crazy.
It's a weird way to go about it. That is a very strange way to tell a man that his son's a murderer.
Why can't you just knock on the door? Like, why can't you just go during the daytime and knock on the door and be frank? Like, why do you have to like breaking in? Like,
I get like having to go at night because like he had to sneak away from his like followers, but breaking into the house, terrible idea. Like, what if it was his father? How does he not get shot? Like, you look like a man. I mean, you are a man who just broke into someone's home. What do you expect?
Yeah, if you live in the United States, there's probably you probably shouldn't break into anyone's house. That would be really scary. You would get shot immediately if you live in the United States. Like five out of like half the time you would get shot if you break into a house. It's not his dad, it's Bruno. He was waiting.
Oh, plot twist.
Oh no. And he's like, I knew you would be here. My dad isn't home, he's away. And, da, da, da.
He's
And
in
like
Florida.
he's like, I'm not. And at this point, I think Guy is pretty much just like, yep, I am not gonna fucking kill your dad. It's over. And he's like, well, then we are enemies. And then you get that other fucking scene where like his girlfriend, Guy's girlfriend, goes visits the mom, but the mom is like batty and weird. And then Bruno shows up too. He shows up and he's like, Bruno only shows up just to be kind of like vindictive and be like, yep, my mom, she's fucking crazy.
She's a crazy person.
There's nothing that you can do about it. So yeah, nothing will be done, and I will have my revenge. And she's like, okay. Those scenes are a little like off, but whatever. It's like them attempting to like try to remedy the situation without having to like go to the police.
It's yeah. Again, no one's really like, I mean, I guess like if I was in this situation, maybe I wouldn't break into someone's house, but I mean, they are like reasonable. I mean, like her like going to the mother is it's not a great idea, but it's like that's what a normal person would do. They would go and try to like convince a like mother or father, especially because like Bruno's just an insane person. I wonder if like in the book Bruno is younger because like in this, like he's in like his 30s. I wonder if like in the book he's like a younger man because I feel maybe that's purposeful because there is this sort of like weird Oedipal thing going on here, and but he does like have this like very childish way of acting. You know what I mean? And I wonder if like in the book he's like yeah in the book maybe he's only like early 20s or something. I don't know, but there is like it makes a kind of not a good or bad dynamic, but a very kind of strange dynamic between these different people.
Yeah. I do like the interactions between Bruno and Guy, though. That stuff is really good. Like I said, there's something kind of homoerotic about it. The way that they interact with each other, it's like they're trying to like hide the fact that they're like in a gay relationship or something like that, you know. And at the beginning of the movie, Bruno is just like, "Oh, it's awesome when people do things," or he says something like that. It's great when people do things. I don't do anything. It's like
I love people who do
I
things.
love people who do things like there. It's like yeah, this weird kind of like yeah. For some reason, I just feel like there's something kind of funny, not funny, but interesting going on there in like a homoerotic way. I like the interactions because yeah, it's like this push and pull thing going on.
Absolutely. And of course, our detectives have figured out that Guy has left the house. And one of the detectives from the beginning has been like, this guy's a murderer. Like that's it. But the other one's on Guy's side for whatever reason for like a super long time. Because I guess like they've befriended the detectives, which feels a bit unprofessional, but he's like, I don't know if he did it. But after he sneaks out, they're like, okay, we gotta take this guy in. But they decide to not do it until after his big tennis match. Like they're like, let this possible murderer play his tennis match, which is very kind of them. It is a lot of tennis. It's a lot of tennis.
And we have to watch tennis for 10 minutes. For 10 minutes, we have to watch him play tennis. I don't like this sequence all that much in the movie, like where they're going back and forth between like the tennis match and Bruno, like, and his girlfriend know that what Bruno's going to do is that he's going to go back to the murder scene and he's going to plant his lighter. They know that this is going to happen, but he has to do the tennis match.
Got to win in 3.
Guy is like, I'm going to try to finish it in 3, and then we can just go. We can just like, and then we'll leave. But it doesn't. It's pushed back and back because it goes on longer. And yeah, it's not my favorite part of the movie because like yeah, Bruno is like he like at one point drops a lighter down the sewer drain, like a sewer like a grate drain, and it's like preposterous how like he's like you gotta get it out of there, and they're like the lighter, like what?
It's the fucking lighter. Like, who gives a shit?
They're like no, you gotta get it.
I don't understand why the girlfriend can't just go. Like, why does she have to wait for him? Like, why doesn't she just go when the match begins? Because no one's following her, and she could just go and get the lighter, and it'd be over. and they would have to do this whole like tennis match thing. Like there's no reason that he has to go himself
It fucking takes forever. It's so
other than
long.
like tension. is a long is a long I mean they basically play a whole tennis match, which I think part of the problem is like Alfred Hitchcock is not very good at filming sports. So like it is not a very exciting tennis match. Like it's really just like cutting back before and forth between two people hitting a ball for a long time. And it's a lot. it is a lot of it's a lot of tennis.
It's not very exciting. I don't find it very exciting or engaging. And I was just kind of waiting it for it to finish up so we could, get them out of there, get them out of the tennis thing and try to like confront Bruno. Like that's really what I want to see. And when it does get to that point, it is good. Like it is like the sequence after the fucking tennis thing. It's good. It's exciting. It's fun to watch. It's insane too. It's crazy.
Absolutely insane because Bruno he jumps on he gets in a taxi, he goes to the carnival, and of course Bruno is there, and Bruno there's like this whole long scene where like Bruno's waiting for the sun to go down, which again, terrible planning. Like maybe don't show up like 6 hours early before the sun sets because then you're walking around this fucking carnival, everyone can see you, everyone knows that you're there.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, yeah, they really fucked it up. He really fucked it up. He really is really bad at this. Yeah, he's walking around. He's made a big hubbub about dropping the lighter down the drain, and he gets to the carnival and he's freaking out. Like he's like getting upset very easily because he wants to like plant this thing. And there are tons of people because they established that like there's tons of people there wanting to go to the murder scene. So it's like really busy over in the general area too. And then you noticed that the guy from the beginning of the movie that noticed Bruno saw him again, and he's like, "Wait, it's like, it's like he's really fucking it up. Not even like it's not even anyone else's. He's fucking it up himself."
Yeah, Bruno's just he's really bad at this. And even like he sees the guy go talk to the police. And even at that point, he's like, no, no, no. I'm gonna continue down this path. Like this is still how I'm gonna do this. Even though at this point, like he should really have like a plan B or something. But he doesn't. Instead, he sees guy, and then the detectives are like, wait, stop, and then immediately fire, which is concerning. And they murder a man just like that. They just kill like this poor old man who's just running this.
They're like, "Kill a guy."
They kill it. They're just like
it was like the guy running the carousel. They murder him. Like that's like the well, I guess that's the police for you. But they straight up kill this guy who's like doing nothing, and he causes the carousel to reach like the speed of light. I guess like we just watched Top Gun Maverick recently. They're hitting that carousel's hitting 10 G's of speed. It's hitting 11 G's of speed. It's going that fast. It's a preposterous. It's so I did not expect that at all. How the last like set piece is like the carousel is going so fast that women are like screaming like it's like they're being like I don't know catapulted into the air. Like it's ridiculous. And then it's so weird. And then like they're like, "How are we gonna stop it?" And this little old man shows up and he's like, "I can do it." And he's like crawling on the ground to get under like the fucking carousel so he can get in the middle and turn it off. That's crazy. Like the controls are in the middle.
on the side. Yeah. So this very thing doesn't happen.
Now it's like, there's like a guy on the side that presses a button and stuff. Yeah, so it's just like it's going so fast, and I like to like they'll cut to a little kid on like I love that scene that it may be unintentional or intentional, but it's like cut to a woman in the audience. She's like, my baby," and then it cuts to like a little kid on a carousel, and he's like smiling and having fun and stuff. And like Guy and Bruno, they're like fighting on the carousel and they're just fucking like freaking out and they're like hitting each other and they like the kid like there's like like shit is going nuts. It's such a fun. It's so funny. Kind of reminds me of like the ending part of The Birds where just like shit is going nuts or like the end of North by Northwest or something like that. Just something fucking preposterous going on.
It's great. Nothing better than a final fisticuffs on, and insane carousel rides. But of course, our great old man who takes a very long time to get to the middle. Like it's quite the time. Like they even like stop in the middle and like have him like dab his forehead and be like, oof, like this is quite the journey. But he finally gets to the middle and he like pulls the brake or whatever, and then the carousel literally like just like goes off its like fucking hinges or whatever and just like it fucking collapses.
Yeah, it collapses. It explodes basically. Like, yeah, and like it's like the Great Carousel Disaster of 1944. It's like something you would read in a Wikipedia article. Like you're just like clicking around on Wikipedia and you come across like something that happened like in the 1940s where a carousel like fucking killed 10 people because like like it was going too fast, some shit like that, like and it's like, oh my god, did everyone fucking die? Who was on the carousel? Bruno doesn't die, but he is able to hold on for a minute.
Guys, okay, guys. Luckily, he got off at the last minute. Although, I guess fuck the children that were on the carousel. They're probably dead.
I'm assuming they died. Yeah.
But guys, like, you gotta confess, Bruno. Like, you gotta tell the truth. And of course, Bruno's like, why the fuck would I do that?
It's like, show us the lighter. And he's like, no, I'm not going to.
And then, of course, in his hand is, but they won't search his pockets for some reason because, like, I don't know why they won't search his pockets.
They just killed a guy. They just killed a guy. They killed a random guy.
They have morals, Andrew.
And they're like, no, we can't look through his pockets. We can't. And he's about to die too. So he dies, and then he opens up his hand, and it's like there's the lighter.
They're like, oh shit.
He's like, there it is.
And then and then that's basically the end of the movie. They're just like, okay, you're not guilty, I guess, and the end.
I know it's like it's kind of interesting. It's a lighter. Yeah, I guess you were telling the truth. And it's like, of course, they have that like cue ending bit where he's like on the train with his girlfriend and they're having a good time because his bitch ex-wife is dead and Bruno's also dead. And their lives are perfect now. And they're on a train. And once again, I wish there was more train shit on it. It's called Strangers on a Train and they're barely on the train. And the guy at the end is like, hey, aren't you the tennis player? They get up and they walk, and then the movie he's like, nah, that ain't me. He's like, I'm not fucking with no more strangers on trains, as the fucking title says. It's fucking hilarious. The whole last part of the movie is super funny to me. Just the fucking carousel is just an insane set piece. It's so funny. Comes out of nowhere. It just,
I remember when I originally watched this film, I was on like a Hitchcock kick, and there is another Hitchcock film of this era that also has a merry-go-round go wrong. So I don't know if it was just like
wow.
Just like a cliche of the late 40s, early 50s, or Hitchcock just really loves merry-go-rounds, or he's like, I gotta do it again. I don't know, but I never thought I would see that in another film. And I can't remember what the film was. I'm pretty sure it was a Hitchcock film, but it might have been someone else, but definitely of the same era. And I guess like
this isn't a spoiler, that there's a carousel scene in a John Woo movie that's iconic. In the movie Face Off, starring Nicolas Cage and John Travolta. This isn't a spoiler because it happens literally right at the beginning of the movie. Nicolas Cage, John Travolta and his son are on a carousel, and Nicolas Cage snipes them and he kills his son, but John Travolta lives while they're on the carousel.
Carousels are dangerous, man.
See, our movies connect. The movies that we watch, they connect with each other.
We have a plan. We have a long-term plan. This is all part of the.
It's like poetry. It's like poetry, like rhymes.
That's right. So I love Hitchcock. I find his films always to be a good time. They're always a lot funnier than I always remember them to be. And I'm glad I got to watch a Hitchcock film. I'm glad you suggested it because I haven't seen a Hitchcock film in probably 4 or 5 years. I don't think I've seen this since 2016. So it's probably been 6 years since I've seen Strangers on a Train. And when it's been that long since you've seen a movie, honestly, like, of course, there are certain things I remember, like the merry-go-round and the lighter, but a lot of the film I don't remember. And I really enjoyed it. I love the sound design. I love Bruno. Just an incredible performance. I love just how absolutely insane everyone is, and that no one really thinks more than like 2 seconds ahead. It's very silly, very funny. It's not a film that takes itself too seriously. I think that's something that people often get wrong about Hitchcock, which of course Hitchcock loved making films and like cared a lot about films. But I think people take Hitchcock too seriously. And I don't think Hitchcock himself, like he never, like there's everything, even in like his most serious films, like Psychos, there's a sort of tongue in cheek aspect of it that he's kind of making fun of everyone. Like he's kind of pointing fun at the fact that this is a movie and he's kind of like recognizing that. And you definitely see that in Strangers on a Train. And it's a wonderful time. It's a real feel good kind of film. Just funny, laughing all around. All of the murders are ridiculous. And I was just really happy watching it. So I'm going to give this film a solid 8 out of 10.
I will also give it an 8 out of 10. It's definitely far from perfect. It has like a couple sequences and issues that I don't like very much. More specifically, like the whole tennis sequence, and sometimes it feels a little long, even though it's only 100 minutes long. Acting's great, dialogue's good, and of course, like Hitchcock's directing the movie is like top tier. I mean, it is like it's just the way that he's able to kind of tell the story through visuals is just it's just really perfect. You know, it's just his cinematic language is unparalleled. Once again, I don't think it's like a top. I don't think it's like a god tier Hitchcock film, but it is like a really good one. Like once again, even Hitchcock, even when he's punching below a little bit below his weight, it's still like fantastic. It's still like a great movie. So yeah, it's just, a good thriller noir film from the early 50s. It's just, taking out all the, preconceptions about Hitchcock, and like you said, him being a serious director, he's a fucking, this or that. It is like a really solid film. I wish there was more train. I wish there was more trains going on, more train action, but it's still good. I'll also give it an 8 out of 10.
All right, y'all. Thank you for listening. You can find this podcast wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at With Nothing to Say Pod. And you can find anything I do at Austin Lugo 12.
You can find me on Twitter at ADHarp24. I'm also on Letterboxd at Retro Andrew, RETR0 Andrew.
And thank you all for listening.
Thanks so much.